and I usually get a tremendous introduction, but today apparently David is angry at me and wants me to, that's okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been around a while, so I think most of you have at least heard of me or heard about me and all the fantastic things that I've done in my career, and all of the all the things that weren't so fantastic, which I can't think of any. So I'm going to tell you a little about myself in a second, but I think the most important thing is that I'm going to be a little different. I'm a little different in that I'm all about the mental and emotional part of trading, which is the all of the speakers that you're hearing have great things to offer, and they all do it a little bit differently. I don't think they'd be in this roster unless they had valuable insights, and there's so many different ways to look at the market. But the bottom line is that still 90% of traders lose, and the reason is because they're dependent on the trading plan to get them where they want to go without realizing that they themselves are an equal part of the trading plan. And then unless you can run it with total confidence, you're not going to get any place. I just had somebody who came in one of our coaching sessions and was following somebody online where they just had the trading room open, and you're supposed to take trades when they take them, and somehow you miss him, or he was getting in late and chasing him, and you have to have personal control, and that's what the disciplined trader is all about. Sadly, we're usually the last stop for traders as far as where they end up, because after they've tried 4 or 5 different trading plans and blown out several accounts, they realize that really they've spent their money on fairly good trading plans that would have worked if they just could run them, and they come to us really a lot later than they really should. We're always thrilled when we get a trader who's just starting that appreciates the importance of the mental and emotional capabilities, and so if you're out there today, really glad you're here too. Okay. And whether you're doubting whether this is all for you, or whether you're just kind of frustrated, I'm here to tell you that all of this is doable, but you just have to one day look in the mirror, draw the line in the sand, and make it happen. Today, I'm going to talk about what keeps coming up for traders, and that's the fear of losing, and how the 7 simple steps that we use to help our traders to overcome the fear of losing. The fear of losing tends to be something that over extends into other fears. It either feeds other fears, or the other fears feed the fear of losing. But look, we're here to make money, and when you start you have a few losers in a row, or you make a few mistakes and you're out of the edge again of where you said you wouldn't be, the fear of losing really starts to kick in. So let's take care of that today. I'm going to look in the chat here just in case somebody is there. It is. As fantastic. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to be able to get that. Thank you, Sonny. Sonny mentioned a report, a white paper I'm just coming out with, and certainly you can write me at our site, The Disciplined Trader, and I'll get you a copy of that report. In the meantime, let's go through the agenda today. Who will benefit? Why? Listen to me. What's my promise for today? Then I'm going to get into the 5 simple steps. I'm going to show you the 2 secret sauce steps that are even simpler than the 5 simple steps, and but they are the secret sauce. And I'm going to show you a way to get a hold of us if you want us to help you to implement these 7 steps, and it can be done on your own. But I believe you may want to expedite that, move quickly on them, and we've got them all laid out for you. The first question I'm going to ask, so we stay on track, is when did you last experience the fear of losing? What were the circumstances that led up to the fear? Somebody in the chat, just give me an idea of where you stand as far as your last experience that you had with the fear of losing. When did it happen? Just give me a couple of chat ideas so that I can talk to. I have an avatar out there that I can speak to directly. What were the circumstances that led up to the fear? Okay. Chasing trades. What else? Anybody else? Blowing out my, yeah. I mean, generally, if you're blowing out accountants and chasing trades, you're a victim of the fear of losing. Got a quiet crowd, but I'm going to keep going. Who will benefit from this? Any frustrated trader. I always say there's three kinds of traders: those that are that root for their trades and they sit there and sweat it out. Others seem to be blowing out accounts. They get a little bit of success, and as soon as they have a few losers, they succumb to that. And then, of course, there's the most frustrating type. My accountant was one of these people who always made a little or lost a little, but at the end of the year, he was just exactly where he started after expending all the energy. That frustration can really get to you. But to be clear, really, it doesn't matter what you trade, whether you're a futures trader, Forex, whether you trade stocks, options, bonds, all of these people come to us and utilize our tools in order to remain disciplined. Swing traders, position traders, and we had our first several in our last couple of rounds of what we call Excel, our 28-day trader transformation program, where we kind of put it all in 28 days and get you transferred from a undisciplined to discipline in a short period of time using all the tools we're about to discuss. Crypto traders were the first. We had our first several crypto traders, and they very open to the processes that we use. They did very, very well and doing very, very well. So it doesn't matter what you trade. We're here for you. Why listen to me? Because I married smart, and that's why you should listen to me. I ran, that's my wife, Tisha, and I a few years ago at I think that was our 40th anniversary dinner. And my wife is a subconscious trainer. I realized early that in my career that if I could just slow down a little bit and control myself, I could be a much better trader. Tisha helped me with that. And I said, let's bring this to everybody else. And so that's really where the disciplined trader got its roots from. I've written several books. I was kind of a trading plan nerd. I still build trading plans. Again, I kind of got back into it because we were helping traders with their plan, but they had lousy trading plans with lousy control of risk. And so I kind of got back into it. This was actually written about 10 years ago. I think it's still on. It's a pretty popular book. It's still on Amazon. There's another book, Inspirational Quotes. One of the people who worked for me actually put this book together based on 4-minute drills that they did. This is available on I think all of these are still on Amazon, and that's a picture of the 4-minute drill, of which I did over 200 4-minute drills over a 4-year period, and it's those quotes that kind of made up the Inspirational Quotes book. Anyway, I've been around. I've worked for Payne Weber as a commodity specialist. I've had my own entities as a commodity trading advisor. But I am most proud of our work with traders from the mental and emotional standpoint, doing what my wife Tisha helped me to do, and now we're doing it for all traders. We're really the only ones out there that pay this kind of attention to traders and without charging them thousands of dollars to get the job done for you. Again, my wife is really the lifeblood of the interchange. She's recognized as an innovator in the field of subconscious trainings. It's more than 32 years now. She's developed several breakthrough processes and tools to deliver effective subconscious training. In the 80s, she started the Fast Start Accelerated Learning Program for kids. That was very well received, still being used in California. Since 2000, we've together focused primarily on helping stock, futures, and options traders, et cetera, and Forex traders to be disciplined to follow their trading plans, as I mentioned. She has all kinds of credentials. I won't go through, certified in just about everything. So what's our promise here? What's my promise here, at least in this session? I'm going to promise that I'm going to give you all that you need to eliminate the fear of losing from your trading. What's more, by eliminating the fear of losing, you'll be proving to yourself that there is a simple process to reverse other detrimental trading habits like overtrading, hesitation to pull the trigger, revenge trading, getting over losses, lack of patience to wait for the A trade. All of those things, you're going to have a renewed feeling or an initial feeling, if you've never had it, that from what I show you to eliminate the fear of losing, that you can eliminate all these other issues with the same processes. Okay, your vision is going to be clear that you can be the successful trader that you know you're capable of being. I know there's a lot of frustration out there, especially with the volatile market, but volatile markets are really where traders belong. And that's what we love as professional traders. We love to see that volatility, because that means wider ranges, and when you have a good trading plan that can take care of those, you can make a little bit more money in a volatile market. So you got to put the fear aside. Let's show you how to do it. I'm going to start with the first 5 simple steps. Are we ready to hear that? Are we ready to see the first? Somebody give me some encouragement here. No relation to Mark Douglas. But I appreciate it. Although Mark Douglas, was a king in our, may he rest in peace. And are you ready to go with the first simple step? Somebody give me a yay out there, so I know you're with me. Okay, here we go. First simple steps. The first step is one that you've heard many times before. It's managing risk, and you got to be compatible and comfortable with your risk level, your worst case. In other words, when you set your stop in a trade, if I lose that, it's no big deal. You have to be able to say that. And if you can't say that, you need to adjust your things like your time frame. Lower time frames tend to have the same setups, but with lower risks. It's kind of a professional tip for you that I don't hear a lot of. Position sizing is one of the best ways, if not the best way, to control your risk. You can allow a lot more room if you're using certain stop methodologies that give the market a little bit more play. If you reduce the number of positions, if you have more of a tight stop, you can take on more positions and result in the same risk. But whatever the risk is, you need to be very comfortable knowing that if it's hit, and it's hit again and again and again 3 or 4 times in a row, that you're not, that doesn't result in a 15 or 20% drawdown. So you've got to keep those risks to somewhere around that maximum 1.5% level. I like under 1% if you can do it, especially in volatile markets. The market can give you a nice big run just as easily as it can kick you out. So keep the risk, especially small, I think, in volatile market. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if you keep the risk a little bit smaller, and the market may give you more than you ask for with volatile markets. So watch your risk, but know that when you put in your stop, that you're comfortable with saying, hey, no big deal, I can just move on from there, and knowing that I can stand a few of these losses if they happen to happen. But as long as I follow my trading plan, I've looked back, and I know that although I may take a loss or 2 in a row, or 3 out of 4, I know that over the long term, my trading plan is going to work, because I've done the homework to do that. Okay, so that's the first thing. Control your risk. Okay, the second thing to eliminate the fear of losing is to recall how your trading plan was created. You want to know the why of your trading plan. This is why when a trader gives you, a successful trader or a trading wizard gives you you buy their trading plan, and somehow it doesn't seem to work the same way, and you're not only not making money, but you're losing money. You can't seem to follow the plan. It starts to get fearful for you to make your move. And a lot of that reason comes from the fact that you may be accepting a plan that somebody else had success with, but you don't understand the why of the plan, where it came from. You've got to be confident with the why of your plan. For instance, I like to use Fibonacci. I know Sonny does, and I know most traders love the idea or utilize Fibonacci, especially when a market is correcting, to look at places where the market may turn back into the trend. That kind of thing. Now, I don't use Fibonacci because I like Italian food. I use Fibonacci because it's a universal truth. Forget trading. It's out there in the universe, spiral galaxies, arc shells in the ocean, snail shells, even broccoli and cauliflower use the law of expansion, which is what Fibonacci is all about. Why wouldn't it give us some kind of a guide in trading? Because trading is the same kind of ebb and flow. that is created by everything else in the universe. So I'm a believer that I'm going to get some majority of time accurate guidance by Fibonacci, not because I love the name or the way it rolls off my tongue. I like it because I understand that it's a universal law and there's some depth in my understanding. If you don't have the depth in your understanding about why you use an RSI or why MACD is your preferred, just because somebody tells you not good enough, you need to know for yourself, okay? You need to know the why of your trading plan. And once you believe in the why of your trading plan, you're just going to have a easier time following it. Okay. So, and you're going to put fear of losing in the backseat because you have trust in your trading plan. Okay. Enough said that. I've mentioned a little bit about this when I talked about risk management, but you got to look. I suggest that you don't have to do any of this. You don't got to. I'm suggesting that in this third step that you make this a daily routine. Look back on your trades from yesterday, not on the trades that you made, but look back as if you had made taken every one of the signals according to your same time frame that you trade. For instance, lately I've been trading the 5-minute time frame. So I look back and I've been trading the currency. So I may look back at the euro dollar, which is the specific currency I've been trading, and I look where would my system have made money if I took every trade every trigger that it gave me and followed every stop procedure and management? Would it have given me a profit? And when I look back and I see that I would have done very well, I can get really positive about the future, and that's my trading today. Okay. So now if you look back and you didn't do so well, look back 2 days or 3 days, you're going to wind up seeing, if you have a trading plan that's worth its salt, you're going to see that over 3 days, if you follow your trading plan, you would have done very well. And if you can't see that, you need to look at a different trading plan, because that's the first thing that you need. But after you have a trading plan that you realize is working, and I like to look at it on a daily basis, that gives me, because people easily say, well, somehow the market's changing and my trading plan's not working anymore. I mean, all of that is BS. It's talking to yourself. That's all excusing yourself for not running your trading plan in the proper way, usually. Okay, maybe maybe the market is changing, but I don't think so. Generally, I mean, there are certain personalities that a trading market goes through. It'll go through sideways for a while. It'll be trending up or trending down or doing nothing. But you need to have, in your trading plan, you need to have alternatives for that. What I'm saying to you is look back on the previous day's trading, the way you trade, and that should give you a real positive feeling and a positive proof that if you just follow your trading plan, you're going to do well. So I give you that. I think it's probably one of the most important things you'll hear from me today. I know it may sound simple, but on a daily basis, only takes about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. And you're going to wind up seeing that looking at the past really gives you confidence in futures. And again, starts to put fear of losing in the back seat. Okay. The next thing, you hear about taking breaks. And I think it's important to say here, but I look at taking breaks in a different way. Just like I frame my trading as a business. When I take a loss, I frame it as if I'm in a retail business and I put an ad in a magazine. I spent money, but nothing came back. I didn't get any sales from it. I tried something else. Okay. I look at losses as the cost of doing business, like advertising. And I look at gains as profitable. And I want to keep those gains. And I don't treat them like loose money and do something more aggressive because, hey, if I lose it back, I'm only losing a profit. That's not the way a business is run. And in the same way, I love to frame things the way they help me as a trader. And one of the ways when I take a break, what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing as I'm doing when I'm clearing my computer. Your computer starts to slow down. And and we all know it's what there is conflicts. Sometimes Tisha will come to me, my wife will come to me and say, I'm having trouble with it. I said, did you try rebooting your computer? And so, and I do it sometimes. Again, just reboot the computer. That will clear the conflicts and take care of about 95% of the issues with your computer. In the same way, when I walk away from trade, when I feel the conflicts in my trading, when I'm not totally focused on running my trading plan and something else is on my mind, whether it's personal or whether it's something from something that happened in the past or whatever that's concerned with trading, or something that I may have been an idiot and listened to Jim Cramer or whatever it is, and my head is not in the right place, I get up and I go make lunch, I get up and I do something. But what I'm doing is I'm clearing my conflicts. That's the way I look at it. And because I look at it that way, I know that I need to think of something other than trading for those 10 or 15 minutes I'm away. And I come back, and when I sit down, I've already framed it as I've cleared my conflicts and I'm going after it. If you can't be 100% from your focus standpoint, you really need to get up, take a break, clear the conflicts. Okay, that's my rap to you on taking a break. So frame it as clearing conflicts, just like you would in the computer. And the fifth step to putting fear in the back seat, okay, is sticking to the A trades. You've got to identify your A trades. And when I say, and more specifically, your A trade setups that lead to great trades. In other words, I know that when I have, here's a trigger that I've been using. It's a trigger that talks about a quiet market or time period. It could be a 5-minute chart, as I mentioned, or whatever it is that you trade, followed by a extended candle that all of a sudden the traders are defining a direction. So when you have, I look at this as possibly the beginning of momentum from quiet, either a doji or a spinner like this with a small body, followed by a major candle higher. Now, when this is happening off a double bottom, that's an A+ trade. If it's happening in the middle of a chart, it's a B+ trade. Okay, but when I see this, and there are a couple of other things in the chart, when it's happening against support, this becomes an A+ setup to me. Why do I know that? Because I've looked back and I've noted over trading the same system for 10 years or 2 years, I know that this is the high probability shot where I at least get a scalp out of this. And if not, it becomes beginning of momentum that I'm looking. So I'm describing to you how to identify an A+ trade. If you stick to the A+ setups, the triggers that are in the places that they're most effective. Okay, if you stick to those trades, you're going to wind up having a lot more winning trades, a lot less losing trades, and a lot less commission and transactional costs. Even though that's not a big deal to me, it can be if you're a person. I've met traders that take 50, 100 trades a day. I don't know how they do it. They trade off a tick chart or 1-minute chart. And I'm mostly getting those people to slow down and focus on their A+ trades. This turns everything around. We had a woman out of Sweden that was taking 50 trades to 100 trades a day. We had to slow down to just 15 trades a day, doing fabulously. And so I'm just talking to you specifically about your trading plan, your system. Identify what the A+ trade is for you and make it happen. Okay, those are the 5 simple steps. Okay, the first 5 steps: be comfortable with your risk, be confident in the why of your trading plan, look back at the effectiveness of your plan and to give you confidence in the future. Take a break and reboot your computer, which is you, and identify and stick to the A trades setups. David, I don't have a clock in front of me. Oh yes, I do. Here we go. Just want to see. Okay, I'm on schedule, so let's get going. Are you ready for the secret sauce? Did you enjoy? Did you get anything out of that for those first 5? Because I'm going to hit you right now with the really key stuff. This is stuff you should be doing anyway. Here's the secret sauce, and you got to have an open mind here if you're a stiff, because I was a stiff when when I first met my wife. I talked about subconscious training. Well, what do you mean? Well, meditation. No, I don't have. I don't need that. I don't. Now, I've learned that meditating and just taking 5 or 10 minutes of quiet time can really change you from the inside to be a much more calm and accepting person. I mean, that's just meditation in general, but also when you use it to direct your subconscious mind in order to respond and act in the way that a trader should act, in the sense of taking in suggestions that help traders. You're becoming a disciplined trader in a very easy way. So here's the 2 secret sauce steps, and they're even simpler. There's 2 parts to your mind: the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is what you're talking to every day, the thing on your shoe. Should I take the trade? I don't know. And I kind of sound like Henny, not Henny Youngman, but I don't know. Take the trade. I don't think. Who was that? If you can tell me who that is, I'd appreciate it. But it was a comedian who just was all over the place with, I don't know, he couldn't make a decision. But your conscious mind is that voice on your shoulder. It's the one you talk to. But your subconscious mind holds what is true for you. And what that means is that the way you respond, if you want to take a trade, but you don't take it, if you're hesitating to pull the trigger, or you're allowing the fear of losing to allow you to hesitate to pull the trigger, that means that your subconscious mind believes that pulling the trigger is not beneficial to you. You do what your subconscious mind believes is true for you or safe for you. And that is, and there's no lying to your subconscious. The subconscious mind is always defending you. So if you want to know what your subconscious mind is holding true for you, just note how you're acting, because you will act in the way that your subconscious. Now, if you're hesitating to pull the trigger, you're dominated by the fear of losing, it means that you've been contributing to your mind thoughts and energy pathways called neural pathways that are carrying this message. Here's a picture of what a neural. These are neural pathways that these are actually thought energy pathways. This is a real photograph. It's carrying the energy that the brain interprets as whatever the message was. In this case, I just lost a trade. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if my trading plan is going to still work. And then when you're given the stimulus from your trading plan to take a trade, and you don't take it, you know that you're being controlled by a neural net that is keeping you safe from trading, because this neural net believes that trading is unsafe and you don't want to lose again. And the fear of losing is what is controlling your actions. And that when the market gets near your stop, you may say, well, maybe I'm going to lift that stop because it always just takes me out and then goes back in my direction. I'll just give it a little bit more room. And then when you do that, it becomes a bigger loss, and you didn't put the stop in right. And it becomes that's because you're being controlled by what you're looking at, the neural net that is not serving you as a trader. And it's not serving you because you've been spending time giving your brain the messages and creating neural pathways that are not serving you. Whenever I say to them, I can't, even during the day, I can't believe I did that. I'll say that because of something, and my wife says, "Well, don't say that because you're feeding your mind. There's something that I normally don't do. It's not unlike me. Say it in a different way, but don't brand yourself with something that's negative." She's telling me all the time. So I've learned that, and I'm not saying you should get somebody to do that, because I'm just saying that when you submit to your mind the wrong messages, you're going to build the wrong neural pathways. So if you're listening to CNBC and they're telling you about all the doubt in the market, and you're asked to go long in the S&P or the E-mini or the NASDAQ and the QQQ, and somehow you can't get yourself to do it, shut off the TV, because you're building neural pathways that are giving you the wrong message. Okay, and the way you do that, okay, is to drop down into an alpha brainwave state, which is just, you've heard about it a million times. Take a few deep breaths, in, out, and then submit messages like, I understand that my trading plan will be successful over time, that I'm a wise and disciplined trader, and I do the things that a wise and disciplined trader does. I follow my trading plan without hesitation because I understand that the trading plan has been built on knowledge and success in the past, which indicates success for the future. I'm a wise and disciplined trader. I do the things that a wise and disciplined trader does. I manage my stops in the way that my trading plan tells me to manage my stop, because I understand that that is the way of a wise and disciplined trader. That's who I am. If you relax and you contribute those kinds of statements to yourself and are relaxed, you're going to build neural pathways that are carrying the right message. And all it takes is, and we've built these 7, 8, 10-minute meditations that all you have to do literally is to sit there and close your eyes for 7 to 10 minutes and let my wife's voice tell you, feed to you the kinds of creating neural pathways that are going to work for you. It only takes 4 or 5, or some people less, some take 8 or 10 if you're a hard head, listening to those kinds of testimonial or those kinds of messages to you. And you're going to build a neural net that will serve you and outperform. All of a sudden, this neural net starts to shrink, and the neural net that's carrying the behavior that you want, pulling the trigger without hesitation, being patient to wait for the signals to cross, whatever they are, you're now being guided by neural pathways, neural nets that are serving you. And we build neural nets in all of the different areas for traders: patience, pulling the trigger without hesitation, overcoming the fear of loss, stopping the fear, stopping greed, and so on. So we've built all of these and we've tested them on traders over the last 20 years, and we've got it down to getting you fast transition. Okay. The second thing is something that you're going to have to open your mind up with, even though you may not have been a believer in meditation and its forms. Believe that the emotional freedom technique is being used by therapists to overcome post-traumatic stress disorder, which is probably one of the toughest traumas to deal with. Now, I'm not comparing the trauma of a trader blowing out accounts, but that's with soldiers coming back from the war. But I can tell you that it is a trauma nonetheless, and it can stop you from doing the right thing as a trader. I'm just saying that if it can be used, EFT, for something as tough as post-traumatic stress disorder, believe me, this is something that generally works with literally one treatment one sitting. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second, of EFT. And EFT is a combination of Eastern and Western science. It separates thought from emotion. For every thought, there is a paired emotion. For every emotion, there's a paired thought. When you use the meridians in your body, and you tap with your fingers on these meridians and say certain things, first you say the issue and move through these tapping procedure where you're literally tapping these points in rotation. And what happens is you'll see Tisha start to talk. You'll repeat after her, and you'll tap under your eyes. Then you'll tap under your nose, and she'll repeat. Then she'll have you move to your chin, then move to your collarbone, move to there's a spot under your arm, and she'll tell you what to say. You repeat that while you're tapping. And what happens is this procedure, because you're working with meridians while you're working with Western technology, which is really thought. So you're working with thought and the chi energy between, and you don't have to believe in any of this. I know I didn't quite understand all of it. Tisha just did it with me. It worked like immediately. You don't have to believe this to have it work. That's the crazy part about this. It separates the thought from emotion. Tisha will spend 5 minutes with somebody, or somebody will report from us, because we have it all that you just log in and you can do one of these on a video with Tisha for 5 minutes. They're telling me that they can't even remember the thought that they had that was bothering them after the 5 minutes, because you're separating the emotion from the thought. EFT, Tisha was one of the first people trained by a guy named Dr. Callahan. He did something called TFT, thought field therapy. And it had many other points and so on. She was trained by the original person that came up with this theory. And he called it the 5-minute phobia cure. Of course, psychologists and psychiatrists poo-pooed him because they don't like cures. You can manage things, but there's no cure of anything. He was getting tremendous results with people that were having no results from other ways of therapy, using this 5 or 10 minute technique that we employ with with traders to make it happen. And we've got it down in that area. So I wanted to bring that. Those are the two pieces of secret sauce. Okay. You're working with the subconscious mind, and you're working with the Eastern Western time. And here's Tisha really doing one of those sessions. I just wanted to show you one of the pictures of what it looks like. And those right there, you're looking at the different EFT sessions we use in our group coaching. We also give access to it for our Excel traders. You can see coping with losses, exercising patience, sustaining discipline, pulling the trigger without hesitation, overcoming thoughts and fear and greed. And what she's doing here is she's tapping on those meridians in the eye or between the eyebrows, and she'll say something and gives you time to repeat it. So you're kind of going back and forth. It's a terrific process. It gets real results. Nobody is doing this. Okay. So you have really two choices here. This is the part where let us help you. I've laid out the five mechanical things that you can do, and then the secret sauce, which you can probably create on your own if you look into meditations and how to create them, and the tapping solution they call it now with EFT. But we've done it all. We've modified it and restructured things so that we know what's the best, that we get the fastest and most permanent results for our traders. Okay, we're trader focused. So you can continue what you've been doing, or you can consider what I'm about to tell you, and that's called Excel. Excel is a 28-day trader transformation, okay, of which it involves the following. It starts with 5 weekly meetings every Monday, and we're starting July 11th, which is a Monday. Every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, we meet, and this is all recorded if you miss a meeting. Some people do it without coming to a meeting live. I'd rather you be there, and have had some good success, but really want to meet you, and we can really get into it at these meetings. 5 weekly meetings, and we all have our little boxes. This is not I don't lecture you. 5 weekly meetings, and what we do is we cover a specific area each week: hesitation to pull a trigger, patience, revenge trading, etc. Okay, and between the meetings, if we have the first meeting on pulling the trigger without hesitation, then between the meetings, from Monday to the next Monday, you're going to be working with the 8-minute meditations and the 5-minute EFT videos between meetings that are appropriate and titled for what we covered in that meeting. So you would be working with, in the first week, the discipline, the EFT sessions and the meditation on pulling the trigger without hesitation, or patience, whatever it is the first week that we decide to work with. Okay, so the meetings kind of set you up so that you understand what's causing the issue. Then we solve the issue. Literally, we ask you between meetings to just take these once a day. So we're asking you to train like an athlete. We consider our traders athletes. We wanted you to train for 13 minutes a day. And I'm not talking about running around the block. I'm talking about sitting there and closing your eyes and letting Tisha give you suggestions that will build the neural pathways to create the neural net that will serve you as a trader. And at the same time, right after that, take an EFT session to separate the thought from the emotion, okay, so that it's no longer even a thought as you're trading. So we have you do that on a daily basis between meetings. And then at the meeting, the next Monday, we're going to make you accountable. And this is really where we're not going to twist your arm, but we're going to ask you, did you do your trading? Did you take your meditation? What got in your way? If not, here's a tip to not let that get in the way, because the secret sauce is where the change occurs. Our trademarked sessions, nobody does what we do the way we do it. And that's why we're known as and Excel is becoming known as the go-to training for traders and for their mental and emotional capabilities. Okay, so that's the way it works. And a little bit more detail on it. Again, 5 Mondays in a row, 5 p.m. Eastern, and that was because it was, unless you're in India, that was a tough one. Although we have people from India coming in, and traders that were getting up at 1 or 2 in the morning and making it happen. But it seemed to be a pretty good time worldwide. Now, at these meetings, I put in this picture because at these meetings where I talk about, we focus in on your exact form of pulling the trigger without hesitation. By going through, I'll have you download beforehand a sheet, and we'll go through this sheet it's not to be pre-filled out, but at the meeting, I'm going to go through one by one. We'll take our time. We'll share our thoughts about these questions and answers. We want to focus in on what the issue is for you in a more specific way. And we do some worksheets and so on to make that happen. Okay. In fact, Tisha will sometimes, if somebody has a response that Tisha believes that she can help right there, she will do an EFT session for everybody right there at the session. And then we record everything. Whatever we do, you'll have the recordings from it. So again, the 5 weekly meetings: hesitation to pull the trigger, lack of patience, revenge trading, fear, framing your trading as a business. We like to talk about that at the meeting. And again, if you're not at the meetings, you can grab the recording. Okay. Again, the third, we're talking about accountability. Okay. You need to be, that's really the glue kind of that makes this work. Again, you don't, we're not going to, if you had a tough week, so we've had people with COVID that said, hey, I couldn't do the training, but I got in, starting to do it now. And hey, that's right. Congratulations. You did what you could, but we want, if you don't want to put in the effort, and I mean 13 minutes a day, don't do Excel. Okay, if you want the transformational change and you want to slap yourself in the face and say, I'm tired of making the same mistakes over and over again, this is a 28-day trader transformation process. Okay, so you got the 5 weekly meetings. Okay, and I've discussed really what they are. Okay, where we focus in, and it kind of looks like that, where we're all in our little boxes. You'll have a handout on most of the meetings where we go through different things. And then I'm going to have you work through the different, through the meetings. You're working with doing the subconscious training, you're doing your EFT session, and then in the next meeting, we'll talk about accountability. And it becomes less and less a thing as we move on, because every week we're hearing more and more success stories, which motivates those that may have been lazy about doing the secret sauce stuff for whatever excuse they have to make sure they do it. It's really a process that we all get together as traders. Listen, we're all traders. We all have thoughts swimming around in our heads. It's how we handle and manage those thoughts and prepare ourselves to understand that we're going to have those thoughts, so that we build a defense before we even get there. That's what EFT and so on is about. That's what building the right neural nets are about. We do it all. And as traders start to transform, some quicker than others, but by the 28th day, everybody's really on the same path. So really want you to consider this. And I made the pricing something that I think is going to be non-resistant. Look, if you are ready to draw your line in the sand and realize your potential as a trader, then join your fellow traders and commit to taking 28 days, not May 23rd. I've got the wrong date in here. It's July 11th. Okay. And what you want to do is excel. And that's why we treat our traders like, we treat our traders like athletes. And that's why we named it Excel. I hope I didn't screw up a couple of the other slides. Here's what it looks like when you log in. Okay. And of course, this is, when you first join, if you join today, you'll see nothing in there but a welcome video. But right before, on the 9th or 10th, before the 11th we start, you're going to see, I'm going to post this is the subconscious training, right? The meditation, and here's the EFT session on what we'll be working on the first week, pulling the trigger without hesitation. Here's the worksheet. So I'm going to have you download the worksheet. You're not going to take these yet because you're going to be ready for it. And this is all you'll see in the first Monday. Okay. And then we have our meeting. And then the next day I'll post the recording. So now you'll have everything, and you'll start training on these subconscious trainings, the meditation for 8 to 10 minutes. I think actually the pull the trigger is 10 minutes long, and the hesitation to pull the trigger EFT session is only about 5 minutes. So you'll do these once a day. We like you to do this before you start trading to really give you nice focus on that. And then on the Sunday before the next day, the next trading, where we'll be working on overcoming thoughts of fear and greed, I'm going to post some of the assets again, a special report that I'd like you to read, and so on. So what you're seeing here is we roll out each week. So by the 5th week, and we keep it up here just in case you want to go back to some of these other meditations and EFT. So each week we roll out the assets for you. So it's very orderly. Really love it. And traders really love it because this keeps you focused. I don't want to, start putting up all the assets. You'll say, well, let's try this. No, go through the steps with us. We've got a focused plan for 28 days that really, really works. This is our 5th round of Excel this year, so it's accelerating. And this class, we've got probably have at least 20, and it looks like we're going to have a second class. I know we will, because we only could fit 20 in the class. There's already 13 registered. So, and this is for the July 11th. So here's from Tom. He was in not the last class that we're doing now, just ended, but the one before. Norman and Tisha, so grateful for your evolutionary development for the evolution that I've experienced through your mentorship. Through your Excel workshop, Norman and Tisha provide me with a cutting edge advantage I need to turn all the frustration from years of heartache and disappointing results into professional strategy that I'm now implementing consistently as a wise, disciplined, patient, and profitable trader. See, I mean, he's literally repeating what we feed to you on the Tisha on this wise and disciplined trader, averaging between $150 and $200 a day over the past 2 weeks. And he's continuing that. That may not look like a lot of money to you, but believe me, it adds up. The evolution I've achieved by attending the Excel workshop has molded my trading abilities from haphazard activities into specific systemized steps that, when executed with discipline, are now spelling out consistent profits. And I emphasize the word consistent. Tom always had the ability, but it was his inconsistency that got him. He's so happy to share with you that I'm well on the road to being a truly wise and disciplined professional trader. And that's from Tom from Arizona. Here's another, and I gave you I wanted to show you their real emails up there. I don't want you to focus in on them, and I don't want you to make out their name, because Lee wouldn't like that. Often traders get wrapped up in indicators, patterns, moving averages, time frames, and the like to try to tweak their process ad nauseum. The true holy grail of trading is the mental component. This 5-week Excel course has helped me develop a daily routine designed to improve my confidence and hone my ability to deal with losses. The subconscious trainings and emotional freedom technique exercises have been immensely helpful. Lee was never resistant. He was open-minded from the beginning and really jumped on these trainings right away. Any trader who does not work hard on their mental approach is doomed to failure. And Norman and Tisha have the exact program you need to hone this key area of your trading platform. See, I asked them, I said, look, I'm starting another class. Can you tell the people encourage them to do this for themselves? And that's what I'm reading you here. And the last one from that request, I believe that developing the mindset of a professional trader is the holy grail of trading, not any of the numerous trading plans out there. Having worked with Norman and Tisha in the past, I know they do an excellent job of addressing the mental and emotional issues that many traders struggle with. So when they announced their Excel program, I knew they would deliver, and I noticed significant improvement in my trading performance. Not thoughts, but performance in only a few weeks. I highly recommend you join Excel, especially if you believe that you're getting in your own way and it's not your trading plan or lack of a better trading plan that's holding you back from success. And that's Andrew, a terrific trader. Again, a frustrated guy that really turned it around. You're going to get a lot of support from us. And so I want to show you the pricing here. Again, this is a 28-day trade. In 28 days, you're going to transform. It's $997, but I'm going to make a special 20% off pricing for you. I'm going to call it inflation relief. Listen, I'm hearing a lot of, gas is costing me $5 at $7, or depending on where you are in the country. Here's a little relief. I can't bring it down too much because there's a lot of work involved and a lot of energy that we put out in preparing these and so on. So, but I want to give you something meaningful. 20% off is a nice gouge into what we're talking about. So for you, it's going to be $997. You have to use the code RELIEF. That's the coupon code that I'd like you to use to get your discount. And I've had this cool QR code made up. You can actually zoom in on that, and you can see the Excel logo in the middle. It's really cool. You can do that nowadays. I want to show you one other thing, and that's the guarantee. This is your foolproof guarantee. Look, you're sitting there thinking, okay, I know I can do it on my own, but think about all of the trading plans that you've tried. Think of all the money, the thousands and thousands of dollars that you've spent to get nowhere. The missing piece is what is between your ears. If you are here listening to this, it means that you have the want and maybe if you realize it, the need to straighten that out. You have the capability. You have to learn to focus and build neural pathways, creating neural nets that serve you, and allow the EFT sessions to separate the thought from the emotion so that you can even build neural pathways that are strong. You see, when you separate the thought from the emotion, it gives a fast lane to those meditative thoughts that we're giving you. I'm a wise and disciplined trader. I do the things that a wise and disciplined trader does. I have my trading plan. I follow with that question, and so on. All of these things, it's a clear path, build strong neural pathways. That's why we can guarantee 28 days, even for the hardest heads, that it won't take long for you to start experiencing the positive behavioral change that we're promising. And this is not the case. If it isn't, then let us know before meeting 3, and we will issue you an immediate refund. And I have to say, I know one of you may want to change this, but we have not had to return a dime in 4 of these classes that we've done. This is the 5th. Each one gets better and better. I just don't want you to think that you're stuck. I want you to experience what I'm talking about for a couple of weeks. And if after a couple of weeks, you're not seeing the change, or you don't realize the process that we're utilizing is revolutionary and that you've hit the Holy Grail finally, then ask me for the money, sheepishly come to me, or come to me with strength, whatever you want. I am not going to resell you, okay? Because I do believe that there are some people that maybe it isn't for, and somebody's gonna come somewhere, and that'll be okay when that happens. I'm just saying to you that that we've got it down here, and I just wanted to make sure that you know that you're not stuck. The risk is on us to perform. Okay, so again, the inflation relief special pricing of 20% off, just $9.97. Remember to use the coupon code RELIEF. Okay, and I'd love somebody put their phone up and see if that gets you to the page you're supposed to. Oh, and on that page, we've got a testimonial reel. It's only about 7 minutes long that you can see our past students in Excel really give you the lowdown on how successful they've been in the program, and you're going to see that they talk about being relaxed. It's only a 4-minute reel, and it's edited. I did like America's Got Talent, where I just showed you the important stuff, and so these are Traders Got Talent reel, and they talk about how relaxed they are, and how see, it's all about being a confident trader, believing that this is actually for you, and you can actually do this for the long term with confidence. And Sonny, we talk about it all the time, Sonny and I. You have most traders that we deal with have the capability. You have the capability. You just got to put your ego aside and say, hey, the strongest people realize that the market is playing a mind game on us, and we need to defend ourselves. We need to have our own capabilities intact. We have to have a deep belief that we are wise and disciplined traders, and we do the things that a wise and disciplined trader does. We've tested our trading plan. We've committed to training our subconscious mind so that we can exercise the capabilities that we're capable of, and we do it. And I'm saying you can do this for $797, and by the middle of August, you're going to make it happen. This pricing is a today pricing. You either know that you're ready for this, or you're not. If I'm hitting a chord, remember the guarantee, and remember that Tisha and I are here for you. I haven't said enough about Tisha, because when you start doing it, they don't talk about me anymore. You start talking about Tisha and how she has a way of framing things, or of zooming in on your particular box in our meeting, and really hitting you between the eyes with the truth of who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. She's the best at it. I'm more of a rebounder. Throw something at me, and I'll hit it back to you with hopefully a good piece of advice. Tisha goes deeper than that. She finds the core of what's going on, and then gives you some of the suggestions to work on to reverse that. She's the wizard here, not me. But I understand the markets. I can help translate some of the, when we start talking about option combinations and so on. I can translate for a lot of people that don't know options and so on, the traders and so on. But I think the most important thing that you have to understand is it's Tisha and I at these meetings helping you. I think you can tell my passion about it. This is the most important thing in a trader's life, getting their heads together. Okay. So if it's your time, please take advantage of it. This is going to fill. It's probably fill with this presentation today. Again, there are 8 slots. And I just want to get it out of my way, fill the first 20, and then, we can, there's no need for a discount after that, as other people, are getting in another group of 20. But I want you to have listen, David has done a lot for all of us here that are speaking. He putting stuff it's like the person who puts these tennis games for me together. A guy drops out, and with 30 speakers, they're dropping in and out. And, I appreciate, so when David said, do something special, here it is. Most people know that I don't discount a whole lot. But I really want to honor what we're doing here in these kinds of presentations and what we have to offer. Listen, I think we've got just a couple of minutes left if I want to take questions. So if you got questions, I'd love to hear about it. There it is, disciplinetrader.com/Excel. Let's see, from both sides now. From Jody Mitchell. Yes, well, I'm singing it. I've looked at trading from both sides now, from up and down, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know trading at all. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin her song, but actually, I did a live presentation one time at the Trump Hotel years ago, and I had a band there because I think I'm a singing hack, and I sang "Here's to the Winners," of course, to the people that pay to be at that. So any other questions? And I appreciate the reference to Joni, one of my wife's favorites. Something about, anyone to say something about paving a parking lot? No, I know you're all running to this site right now. Listen, we are here for you. Anybody that's worked with us, I mean, Google me. Before I'll work with anybody, I always Google their name and put scam. Because people are looking for partnerships, because we help traders, again, with the mental and emotional, and somebody that has a great trading plan that people are not winning as much as they should. So they send them to us. They know the trading plan works if they can just follow it. But before I'll make a partnership with somebody, I look up, that person's name and scam. And this way, listen, I know that there are, the complainers, they're louder than the complimenters. So I take what I read in stride, but sometimes you can see some consistency. You don't want to work. Look me up on this scam. I've been doing this a long time, and we're really into helping traders with the mental and emotional. Okay. So if you have no questions, I'm going to turn it back over to David. And I really hope that you're part of what we're doing here. Here's to the winners. Here's to the whiners. Lift up your glasses. TS, the best. Okay. All right. Thank you for having me, David.